Hi everyone, Gerry Dulac along with Ray Fittipaldo. We're at Gillette Stadium where the Steelers beat the New England Patriots 21-14, the first time they have won here since 2008. Our Steeler Report brought to you by Savinas, Kane and Gallucci Mesothelioma and Asbestos Lawyers with 85 years of experience of getting millions for their clients. Go to sdklaw.com. And Ray, here's the Steelers. They started fast, 2 touchdowns on their opening 2 possessions. They have a 14-0 lead. They were running the ball. Aaron Rodgers was throwing the ball efficiently. The New England Patriots turned the ball over 5 times, twice at the Steeler 2-yard line, and here they're in a close game, and they need a touchdown in the final 2 minutes to win.
Gerry, it's one of those games where you scratch your head and you wonder how the Steelers won. They only had a little bit more than 200 yards of total offense. The Patriots had 369 yards, but give Aaron Rodgers credit. He was really good early, and I thought he was really good late. 4 for 4 on that final drive. That's what you get with an MVP caliber quarterback.
You know, Ray, Jaylen Warren rushes for 32 yards on the opening series. By the second possession after Aaron Rodgers throws that jump ball touchdown to DK Metcalf, he has 66 yards passing. Until that final drive, the Steelers had only 32 more yards rushing, and Aaron Rodgers had only 23 more yards passing. But when he had to, he came back 4 for 4, 50 yards on that final drive, and then he gives Calvin Austin a little signal, he said, and he throws that 17-yard touchdown for the winner.
Yeah, back shoulder throw, Gerry. He threw it away from the defender. Really nice throw. Came through in the clutch. To your point, he had 11 of his 16 completions on the 3 scoring drives. On the other 7 drives, he only had 5 completions.
You know, Ray, you mentioned the yardage the Patriots had. Drake Maye threw for 268. They ran for 119, I believe. They converted 4 of 5 fourth down chances. They had a 15-yard drive and a 17-yard drive. So it wasn't exactly like the defense was shutting them down. No. They were moving the ball. They just killed themselves with those turnovers. And as I said, 2 of them at the 2-yard line. Cam Heyward literally had a hand in each.
Yeah.
He tipped Drake Maye's pass that Brandon Echols intercepted in the end zone, and then he got his hand, stripped the ball from Ramondre Stevenson, a guy who has a history of fumbling.
Yeah.
Steelers, Mike Tomlin reminded his players of that all week. Cam strips the ball. Peyton Wilson recovers in the end zone. Those are 2 deflating turnovers for the Patriots.
That's what you need in those types of games. If you're going to give up yardage, you got to come up with game-changing plays. Cam Heyward did a great job. Those are the types of plays that lead to all-pro seasons. He, of course, is coming off one. But I thought the biggest turnover of the game, Gerry, was Nick Herbig strip sack. T.J. Watt recovers. That actually thwarted a New England scoring potential go-ahead drive, and that set up the Steelers' game-winning drive.
Ray, you mentioned Cam Heyward, 6 tackles, a sack, a quarterback hit, a forced fumble, and then, of course, tipping that pass that was intercepted. It's too bad they didn't put those incentives into his contract for the regular season, just not the postseason. But it was a big-time game by Cam. Well, look, we're used to seeing that, but there he is in Week 3 playing, looking like his old all-pro self.
Yeah, and people talk about training camp, how it doesn't mean anything. They bat down a lot of passes early in training camp. Cam is the leader in that regard, but the other guys, even the rookies this year, they follow his lead. So Y.A. Black gets the start today. He played okay. Derek Harmon also made his NFL debut, had a sack on the first drive of the game. He played pretty well.
Yes, he did, and I was going to mention that Derek Harmon appears for the first time after the Steelers made him their #1 pick. Gets in there on his very first series. On his 3rd play, he had a sack. I think the first play, he collapsed the pocket and forced the pressure, and then he had a run stop on 2nd down. So right away, he gets in the game. Ray, I never did see his snap count, but he played more than I thought he would for a guy coming off an injury, playing in his first NFL game.
Yeah, the way Terrell Austin talked about it on Thursday, I was thinking maybe 15 snaps, 20 snaps. I'm not sure how many they played. The Patriots had a lot of snaps in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was up around 25 or 30. And then next week, Gerry, against the Vikings in Dublin, I think we'll see more of him. He just needs another good week of practice, and I think he'll play a lot more next week.
You know, Ray, just like Aaron Rodgers going into New York in the season opener and getting enjoyment, even though he didn't crow about it, about beating his former team, Jabrill Peppers comes here, released last week, 2 weeks ago by the Patriots, comes in here and forces the fumble, recovers the fumble, a big play by him. He played a lot more today than last week, obviously, which was the plan, and he ends up making a big play.
Yeah, I thought the Steelers made a couple of changes that paid off. Jabrill Peppers started along with Jaylen Ramsey at safety. So Juan Thornhill and Chuck Clark did not start. Obviously, Peppers played well. And then Cole Holcomb started over Peyton Wilson. Holcomb had 6 tackles, and he had that big forced fumble on the first drive of the game. So they didn't stand pat after the way they played against the Seahawks, made a couple of changes. I think the coaches deserve a little bit of credit for that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it, Ray. And so while the defenses didn't exactly excel, but when you take the ball away 5 times, you can't lose that game when you win the turnover battle 5-1. The Steelers talk about it all the time. And their ability or / inability to put that game away. Aaron Rodgers said, it's 14-0. He says, we're feeling pretty damn good about ourselves. But then when the Patriots controlled the ball for 17 plays, 3 possessions later, 15 plays, Aaron Rodgers said they found themselves sitting on the bench so long that the offense kind of became dormant because they hadn't been on the field. He said it was a weird, disjointed game.
Yeah. And Aaron also mentioned that 1 third down where he scrambled. He wanted Pat Freiermuth to sit down in the zone. Pat kept going towards the sidelines. He was a little bit mad about that. But to your point, when you only have a couple of opportunities on these drives, you want to make the most of them. And the Patriots held on to the ball for so long, it was hard for that offense to find a rhythm.
Big win for the Steelers in this regard. Ray, you don't want to lose back-to-back games early in the year, especially against teams you feel you should beat. But it's important with all these new players, too, to instill some confidence in them that, hey, what we're doing here is the right thing. And in that regard, if they would have lost this game after being up 14-0 and being handed the ball 5 times, it would have been a little deflating.
Yeah, and I agree. I talked to Darius Slay early in the week, and Darius said, while we're going through these chemistry issues and we're learning about each other and how we play, we just have to find a way to win games. And he was talking last year about the Eagles starting 2-2. There was a lot of infighting there all over the team, but they got through that, and then they went on a nice little run. The Steelers clearly, Gerry, aren't there yet. More miscommunications today, including that last touchdown the Patriots scored. So they still have a ways to go, but when you win and you can learn from your mistakes, that's much better.
Steelers are off to Ireland. They play the Minnesota Vikings there next Sunday. They leave on Thursday, arrive in Dublin Friday morning. I will be there. We will have reports for you all during the week right here on PostGazette.com. For Ray Fittipaldo, I'm Gerry Dulac. You're watching PostGazette.com.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.